Hi, welcome back to Margarcountry Crafts and Miniatures. I'm Catherine, and I'm going to take you through 4 more holiday crafts. Now, these crafts are from random ornaments and even some vintage toys that I found. So stick around, I'm going to take you through them all. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a bonus mini. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe. Getting into the first craft, like I said in my intro, I have these vintage Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer toys that I found at a vintage market. And the cool thing is, most of them still work, meaning they have an audio that they play. So they play little snippets from the original television special. That one is Rudolph. And this one I'm going to cut short just for copyright reasons. Hopefully I don't get striked for that.
Actually, I am a dentist. I just don't like to make toys. What do you say we both be independent together?
So I have this 2 mountain wall plaque that was from Dollar Tree. I got it a while ago. And also this Merry and Bright sign that has a nice raised border on it. I'm going to combine these 2 elements together. The goal is to make some mountainous icebergs, kind of reminiscent of what you see in the original Rudolph special. So I'm going to take some white chalk paint, and I'm going to do my favorite trick with putting some baking soda in it. Just gives it a nice texture. And I'm going to paint all over the Merry and Bright sign. And I'm just using my heat gun so that I can dry it really quickly. I also am going to take off the Dreaming metal sign on it and put that aside. Maybe I can reuse it later. And I'm just stripping off as much as I can of the paper. And now I'm going to take some spackle or caulking, and I decided to forego my tool, that my silicone tool, and I decided to just use my hands is the best method. So I'm just going to put this all over the mountains, the MDF mountains. And I'm just going to smooth it out with my fingers. This is going to give a really nice texture to the mountains and give them a little bit more dimension. Once it's all painted and with the toys, I think it'll make it all come to life. And I'm just using my heat gun just to hopefully speed this up, but it did need overnight to fully dry and cure. And as it's drying, I'm just taking this tool that I have, and I'm just making some lines in the mountains just to define some ridges, to define the difference between the 2 mountains. And luckily the MDF color underneath the spackle or the caulking, luckily that gives a nice outline to it. So back with the white chalk paint, I'm doing the good old baking soda again, and I'm just going to paint over top of the wall spackle, just because it can tend to yellow a bit over time, and I really want this to stay a nice white color. It also sometimes dries a little bit of a gray tinge. And I'm just gonna paint the whole mountain so that it all looks cohesive. And back to the plank that we painted white, I'm gonna put the mountains right at the back of it. This is the platform that our vintage toys are gonna sit on. I used some hot glue to hold the mountains up on the platform. And with some of my leftover white paint, I'm adding a little bit of blue paint. And I'm going to give some outlines to these snowy mountains or icebergs, to really give it a little bit more depth and to kind of fit the cartoon vibe of these vintage toys, which it is based off of a vintage cartoon special or clay animation. It's not necessarily a cartoon. And I'm just going to do the same blue color around the border of the little platform. And once that's done, we now have some nice blue and white mountains, icebergs. I'm going to use these glue dots because I don't really want to tarnish these toys with hot glue. I don't want it to melt the toys at all. So I'm going to use some glue dots to hopefully stand them up upright on this platform. And I'm just going to stick them to the bottoms of each toy and place them on. So next I have these mini ornaments that I found at Walmart. They're just little mini glittery trees, and I thought they were a really good size and fit the whimsical vibe of this vintage Christmas special. And I'm just gluing those down around the characters. And I'm going to take some Aleene's tacky glue. I really like using this glue. It's a good glue. And I'm going to take a brush and I'm just going to dab this glue all over the platform because we're going to put down some fake snow, some fake Dollar Tree glittery type snow. It's going to be messy. I know that. And it's going to make a mess. I know that. But it's all for the sake of a childhood Christmas craft. And I'm just using my fingers to press down the faux snow into that wet glue that's on the base. And there we have it, using these vintage toys. I'm just giving them a little reinforcement. But hope you guys like this one. It is a classic, it is nostalgic, and it's really a piece that I can put out every year that'll remind me of this holiday classic. And on to craft number 2. So I have these DIY Christmas tree wood cutout sets from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to place the tree in its base that it comes with. And I'm going to use one of these bamboo cubes to reinforce the back of it so that it is a little more sturdy. And I'm just using some hot glue to help do that, so that I have two of them, two sets of these whimsical looking wood trees. And I also have this oval wood base that I also got from Dollar Tree. I have some green paint and I'm going to add some baking soda to it and just mix that up. And we are going to paint our trees with this color, with this forest green color. And luckily, the baking soda is going to give it good coverage and a little bit of texture too. Then I'm taking some brown paint and I'm just going to paint the trunks of the trees and the bamboo cube that's in the back holding it up, just to make it all blend in together. And I did it for, and I painted the same for the other tree. I now have this gold snowflake beaded garland from Dollar Tree. And I thought this would look nice and shiny and glittery on these trees. And we're going to use it just as it's intended as garland, but we're going to glue them down to these wooden trees. This one I'm going to do in a zigzag pattern down the tree. And there we have our first tree. And for the second tree with the garland, I'm going to do more of a wraparound garland look. And I've put the two trees back on the base because we are now going to move on to putting down the fake snow. And this time we're not using the glittery, messy Dollar Tree snow. I'm going to glue down the two trees first to the wood base. And then I have Aleene's tacky glue that I'm going to dab on to the base, similar to the first craft that we did. But this time we're not going to use that glittery snow stuff from Dollar Tree. While it does look beautiful, it is messy. Instead, I have all this cotton that I repurposed from old toys and such that you might find at Dollar Tree, or just old toys that you might find at a thrift store as well. I collected the cotton from inside those stuffed animals and just have kept them just when I need it for a purpose like this. And I'm just gonna stick them down onto the top of the glue of the wood base. And it was a little bit difficult to get all around in those crevices of the of the tree and block. But all in all, it worked pretty well and it covered it up pretty well too. And I really like the look of this cotton. It makes it look nice and fluffy and festive. So once we have all of that glued down, I'm taking these little ornaments that I found at my local grocery store. They had a Christmas section, and these gold reindeers I thought were so pretty and such a nice size for crafting with. So I'm just taking the little hook that's on top out that you would normally hang it on the tree with, and it did leave a few open spots of the plastic. So I'm just taking this gold chalk pen that I have and just filling that in a little bit so that hopefully it's not as noticeable. And I'm taking some of my hot glue and I'm just going to glue it down to the base, hopefully avoiding as much of the cotton and actually gluing it down to the base. And there we have our first reindeer, but that's not it. I'm going to add a little friend for that reindeer. And I just added it right beside it. He did need a little bit of reinforcement. The wet glue was still a little bit wet, so I had to reinforce with a little bit more hot glue so that it would actually stick to the base. And some more mini ornaments that I got. I got these from Walmart. They're little mini acorns, snowy acorns, and I thought these were such a nice size as well to craft with. And I want to use a couple. Of course, they're not a to scale of the tree, but this is just a whimsical crafts piece. It's something to put out and enjoy at Christmas. But to make it match the trees and the reindeer a little bit better, I am going to put some glue onto the acorns and I'm going to put some gold leaf that I got from Dollar Tree onto the acorns, hopefully to tie in and to make everything shimmer on this piece. The first one, I did the gold leaf kind of on the side, and the second acorn, I decided to do it right on the top shell part of it. And I liked that look a lot better, and I did go back to the other acorn and just do that the same way and just clean it up a little bit. And then I don't like this decision that I made, but I decided to sprinkle some of the leftover gold leaf all over the snow. And I don't like it. It didn't make sense. I really wish I didn't do it. And you'll see in the final glamour shots that I did take them off and tried to dust them off of the snow because I think it looked a lot better without the gold leaf. And there we have our second craft. What do you guys think of this one? I think this one is nice and shiny and glimmery and gold and just perfect to put out at Christmas time to really make it sparkle. Next, we have craft number 3. I have these silicone type cookie looking ornaments that I got from my local grocery store. 2 of them look like tree sugar cookies, And some of them are gingerbread men, and one of them is like a gingerbread snowflake cookie. I'm not going to use the gingerbread ones for this craft. I decided not to. They just wouldn't fit. But I do have this bamboo wood cutting board that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just unpackaging it. And I'm going to stick 3 of these cookies, faux cookies, onto the cutting board. And I have these window decals from Dollar Tree. And I thought this one right here was a perfect saying to go along with these cookies. May your holidays be sweet. I thought it went really well with the theme of holiday cookies. I also have these rub-on transfers of this greenery from Dollar Tree. I don't know if this is particularly kind of greenery you would use at Christmas, but I thought it was green and it looked pretty festive enough that I could use it. If you know what these types of greenery are, I feel like maybe eucalyptus was in on the sheet, but I'm not quite sure what these specific ones I'm putting down. I'm not sure what these ones are. So if you know, leave a comment below. I'd love to learn about what the types of greenery. And I put some bamboo wood cubes on the back with some ribbon just to reinforce it so that we could stand this piece up. And there we have our little cookie display. This would be great to put in a kitchen. On to our very last craft, craft number 4. I have this beaded wood round that I got from Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree's been really good with their wood products lately. They have a lot of different options and very stylish options. I have these Christmas decals that I got off of Amazon, and I just chose this one particular house scene with trees in the background. I thought it was really pretty, really festive, and I'm just going to place it a little bit up at the top of the circle. And I'm going to just place my roller over it, and I'm going to just make sure that it really gets rubbed down and transferred onto the wood. And then I'm going to take the good old white chalk paint, and I'm just going to paint the bottom half of this circle round white, but I want it to blend in with the image that we just stuck down. So I'm just going over a bit of the area in front of the house that has snow with the white chalk paint so that it all blends in together. And it'll give us a nice seamless piece. And once that's done, I have these little mini wood letters, and we are going to spell out a little saying to go into all that white space on the circle. And I'm just picking out my letters, and I'm going to spell out home for the holidays. I thought it was a very fitting saying for the image that I chose. And I'm taking some red chalk paint by Folklore, and I'm going to put it in, but when I went to go paint with this red, I thought it's too bright. I wanted it to match the red of the house that we chose. So I'm putting some brown paint into the red just to darken up and just to darken up that red color. And I'm just going to go ahead and get messy because all edges I want painted of all these little mini letters. And I'm just using my heat gun to help speed up the drying time. And next I'm going to use some green painter's tape to create a somewhat straight line as much as I can get it below the house image. And I'm going to start lining up all my letters to spell out the phrase, home for the holidays. Leave a comment down below if you usually stay home for the holidays or if your family likes to travel for the holidays. And I'm just going to use more of that tacky glue, and I'm going to place them on the back of the letters to place it onto the wood circle. I think the tacky glue is great because it has a good hold instantly, but also it gives you a little bit of time to move around the letters if you need to. And I thought it would be way easier to manage than hot glue. And for the next and final word, the holidays, I'm just moving my green painter's tape below in hopes that we can get it to be just as lined up as the top row. I do own a Cricut machine, which you could always use to spell out your phrase and put it below the image that you choose. I chose to do it this way with wood cutouts just because the Cricut sometimes it's just a little bit too time consuming to pick out a design, a font, and design that in the space, and then to set up all the vinyl in the machine. Sometimes you just want to go the old-fashioned route with some good old wood letters. I have this faux greenery from Dollar Tree, and I thought just the very bottom of the circle needed something a little bit extra. And this is nice and glittery, so I thought it was very festive looking. And I'm going to put 2 stems of these at the bottom underneath the word holidays. And there we have it. That's our last craft. I hope you enjoyed these random crafts. Some of them using the vintage toys, some of them using the miniature little ornaments, and some using some decals and wooden letters. I hope you guys enjoyed these. Let me know which craft was your favorite in the comments below. And now it's the bonus mini time. And today, as the bonus mini, I am showcasing this little mini wagon that I bought but then DIY'd into an ornament. This little mini red wagon I got from a miniature store years ago, and I decided to put one of Dollar Tree's tiny little Christmas trees inside of it, some of Dollar Tree's little green and red beads, and a custom made candy cane made out of clay, hand painted and placed in the wagon. And I tied some string to it, and it makes the perfect ornament for my tree. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Comment below with maybe some of the things that I asked about earlier. Make sure you watch one of my other videos. Bye bye.